In 2021, the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company quietly spent $2.5 billion to buy one of the most trusted names in American trucking. Almost nobody noticed. And here is why that should matter to you. The next time you walk into a tire shop and the salesman steers you toward a $300 premium tire for your pickup, he is counting on one thing. He is counting on you not knowing that the same global giants who build those premium tires also quietly build a handful of cheaper brands that almost nobody talks about. Brands that win independent braking tests. Brands that roll off factory lines owned by the biggest names in the business. Brands that can cost you nearly $150 less per tire. Today, I am going to show you the 5 tire brands the industry ignores, why they are absolute gold mines for your truck or SUV, and the one simple rule that separates a smart bargain from a deadly mistake. Walk into any tire store and it looks like a fair fight. You see a dozen names lined up on the wall: Michelin, Goodyear, Cooper, General, Firestone, BF Goodrich, Falcon. You assume these are independent companies all competing to build you a better tire at a better price. That is an illusion. The truth is that a tiny handful of global conglomerates own almost all of it. Michelin owns BF Goodrich and Uniroyal. Bridgestone owns Firestone. Goodyear owns Cooper and Kelly. Continental, the German engineering giant, owns General. Sumitomo of Japan owns Falcon. The badge molded into the sidewall is mostly marketing. The engineering underneath very often comes from the same parent company that builds the expensive tire sitting 2 racks over. Think about what that means for a second. You could be standing in front of 2 tires built by the same corporation using related technology, and one of them cost you $150 more per corner simply because of the name printed on the side. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is just how the modern tire industry is structured. And for a family that runs trucks and SUVs, that gap is not pocket change. It is hundreds of dollars every few years, quietly lifted out of your wallet and handed to a marketing department. Once you understand who actually owns these brands, the entire pricing game starts to fall apart in your favor. So let us pull the names off the wall one by one, because the first 2 are the ones that will surprise you the most. Let us start with General Tire. To most Americans, General looks like a no-frills discount brand, the kind of tire you settle for when you cannot afford the good stuff. But here is what the sticker on the wall does not tell you. General Tire has been owned by Continental of Germany since 1987, when Continental bought the company for $628 million. That is almost 40 years under German ownership. So when you buy a General today, you are buying a tire engineered with the same technology and the same compound science that Continental uses on its premium European tires, just sold to you at a value price. And this is not just marketing talk. Consumer Reports, the most trusted independent product tester in America, describes General as synonymous with value and recommends 6 out of the 7 General models it put through testing. 6 out of 7. Now look at Cooper. For more than a century, Cooper was a proud, independent Ohio company that built a fierce reputation among truck owners for tough, long-wearing tires that simply refused to die. Then, in 2021, Goodyear stepped in and bought Cooper for $2.5 billion. Now here is the part that actually matters to your wallet. Goodyear did not ship Cooper overseas. It kept Cooper building tires right here in the United States, in Findlay, Ohio, and in Texarkana, Arkansas. So when you buy a Cooper today, you are buying an American-built tire that is now backed by the engineering muscle and the deep pockets of the 3rd largest tire company on the entire planet, and you are still paying a humble Cooper price. And Cooper's reach goes further than most people ever realize. It also stands behind other value names you have walked right past on the rack, like Mastercraft and Starfire. So that bargain tire with the unfamiliar logo may carry far more pedigree than its price tag is letting on. 2 trusted bargain brands. 2 of the most powerful tire corporations on earth standing quietly behind them. But ownership is only half the story, because here is the part the premium brands really do not want you to find out. In head-to-head independent testing, some of these so-called cheap tires do not just match the expensive ones, they beat them. And I am not talking about marketing claims or paid reviews. I am talking about hard, instrumented numbers from Tire Rack, the most respected independent tire testing operation in the country. In their all-terrain test for trucks and SUVs, Cooper's Discoverer all-terrain tire led the entire field in wet braking. It stopped more than 10 feet shorter than the next closest competitor, while also posting the best grip of any tire in the test, 10 feet. In an emergency stop on a wet road, 10 feet is the difference between a near miss and a collision. And Consumer Reports ranks that very same Cooper number 1 in its all-terrain category, placing it ahead of Michelin. Now let us talk about QMHO, a brand most American truck owners have never once given a second look. Kumho is South Korea's second largest tire maker, and in that same Tire Rack test, Kumho's Road Venture led the entire field in dry braking and posted the shortest stopping distance on ice. Now, I am going to be straight with you here, because honesty is the whole point of this channel. Kumho has been majority owned by a Chinese company since 2018, but it still builds tires at its own plant in Macon, Georgia, and independent reviewers agree the quality has not slipped one bit. Then there is the General Grabber, and it tells the exact same story. In testing, it tied for the highest grip in the dry, and in the wet, it outbraked the legendary BF Goodrich, the off-road tire that half the truck world treats as gospel. But if you want the single most shocking name on this entire list, it is this one. Hankook. And wait until you hear this. Hankook is the 7th largest tire company in the entire world. And here is the bombshell. Hankook supplies the factory tires, the original equipment fitted at the assembly line, for around 280 different vehicle models from nearly 50 different automakers. And those automakers include Porsche, BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, and Tesla. Read that list again in your head. The same company that engineers the tires, Porsche, bolts onto a brand new sports car straight from the factory, will sell you a high-quality truck tire for a fraction of what a comparable Michelin costs. And understand what that really means. A company does not earn the contract to put tires on a brand new Porsche by cutting corners. It earns it by clearing some of the strictest engineering standards on the planet. That same company is so confident in the American market that it is pouring $1.6 billion into expanding its tire plant in Tennessee. There is one more layer to this, and it is the layer most buyers never check. The warranty. These value brands are not shy about how long their tires last. Kumho backs its truck tires with treadwear warranties up to 65,000 miles. Hankook's DynaPro all-terrain offers coverage up to 70,000 miles. These are not numbers a company prints if it expects the tire to fall apart. And here is something most bargain hunters assume they have to give up the moment they buy cheap, which is real winter capability. You do not give it up at all. Hankook's DynaPro all-terrain carries the 3 peak mountain snowflake symbol, the tire industry's official certification for severe snow service. That is the exact same cold weather badge stamped onto tires costing $100 more. So you are not trading away safety or foul weather grip just to save money. So let us finally talk about that money, because this is where it gets personal. Across these brands, you are saving roughly $90 to $145 on every single tire compared to a premium Michelin or BF Goodrich. On a full set of 4, that is somewhere between $360 and $580 left in your pocket for tires that compete in the very same category of performance. So if these brands are this good and this cheap, there has to be a catch. And there is one. But it's not the catch you are expecting. Here's the real catch. Cheap does not automatically mean good. For every honest bargain brand on my list, there is a graveyard of no-name budget tires that are genuinely dangerous, and the danger shows up in exactly the place that can get you killed, which is Goodyear braking. In one independent wet braking test, a cheap off-brand tire took so much longer to stop than a quality tire that the extra distance was roughly the length of a double-decker bus. Picture that, one full bus length of extra road before you come to a stop, in the rain, with your family in the truck. That is the difference between stopping safely behind the car ahead of you and ending up buried in its bumper. Unpronounceable no-name labels like Westlake and Linglong are exactly the ones to walk away from. So the rule is not simply buy cheap. The rule is buy the right cheap. And that brings us to the complete list of the 5 gold mines. Number 1, General, owned by the German engineering powerhouse Continental. Number 2, Cooper, owned by Goodyear and still built on American soil. Number 3, Kumho, with chart-topping braking scores and a factory in Georgia. Number 4, Hankook, the secret premium brand of the entire automotive world. And number 5, the deep cut almost nobody ever mentions, Ironman. Now I have to be honest about Ironman because you may have heard something. Ironman tires are designed by a company called Hercules, owned by an American distributor, and that distributor went through a financial restructuring in 2024 and was taken over by its lenders in 2025. But here is what matters. The tires never stopped being made, the brand never stopped being sold, and the company now backs them with mileage warranties up to 55,000 miles. It remains the no-frills budget pick for a hard-working truck. Now here is how you actually shop like an auditor instead of shopping like a victim. Ignore the badge, ignore the brand worship, and the racing posters on the wall. Look at one single number, the treadwear warranty written in miles. That number matters more than anything else in the store because it is a promise the manufacturer is legally on the hook to pay out if the tire wears out early. And do not be fooled by the treadwear grade molded into the rubber on the sidewall, because that figure is self-certified by the maker with no real penalty if they exaggerate it. The mileage warranty is the only number with actual money standing behind it. Then check the company that owns the brand, not to chase a flag on the sidewall, but because knowing who really engineers the tire tells you whether that bargain price is hiding genuine technology or hiding a corner that got cut. And remember the loop we started with at the very beginning, that $300 premium tire and the $150 bargain tire sitting near it very often roll out of the same global conglomerate. The era when the most expensive tire on the wall was automatically the best tire is over. The giants quietly bought up almost the entire industry, and instead of throwing away the good engineering they inherited, they spread it across brands at every single price point, and then they bet that you would keep paying extra for the famous name. So stop paying for the name stamped on the sidewall. Check who actually owns the brand. Check the mileage warranty before you check anything else. And the next time a salesman walks you straight past the bargain rack toward the most expensive tire in the store, you are going to know exactly what he is not telling you. If this opened your eyes, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because we expose the things the industry is praying you never find out.